Welcome to another episode of BHY Solutions. It seems like everywhere we look these days, we find this idea of authenticity,
Right.
right? Public figures, branding, our own online lives. Everyone's trying to be more authentic.
Yeah, it really does feel that way. Like it's this sort of, I don't know, holy grail that everyone's searching for.
Exactly. But for this deep dive, I want to look at it a bit differently. What if the authenticity we see, well, what if it's not really some inner truth?
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What are you thinking?
What if it's more like a performance, something we create rather than just reveal? The sources for this deep dive had some really interesting takes on this.
That actually tracks with some of what I was reading too. It's like maybe instead of searching for this fixed true self, we should be looking at something else.
Right. So what should we be focusing on then?
Well, the sources I was looking at, they suggest that what we often perceive as authentic is actually consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah. Does someone's story line up with the things they do? Are they walking the walk? Do their words and actions match up?
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
That consistency, that's a big part of how we see someone as authentic, I think.
Yeah. So let's play with that idea a little bit. Think about that classic image of the tech innovator. The hoodie, the jeans.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Is that really just who they are, or is that a specific image that we expect even want to see?
I mean, you have to wonder, right? Like, how much of that is just playing into the stereotype?
Exactly. And the sources talk about this as the professional persona.
Yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
Like, think about an architect, right? Maybe they're always in black,
Y-
really minimalist, super calm voice. And their Instagram is full of these, like, elegant, simple designs.
Hmm?
Is that all just their natural essence? Or is it something more, well, curated? Like they're crafting this image that supports who they are professionally.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. She's a yoga instructor, and she was saying how.
Oh, well, perfect example.
She's like, I have to be on all the time, like calm, peaceful, even if, my dog just chewed up the couch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that takes us to another point the sources brought up.
Okay, what's that?
What if authenticity is like a performance of sincerity, but it's done strategically?
I like that. Strategic sincerity.
Right. So think about a speaker who's giving a presentation. They seem super confident, but inside, they're totally nervous.
Oh, like stage fright, but they're hiding it.
Exactly. Or a leader who's dealing with the major crisis, but they still project this sense of calm.
I see what you're getting at. It's like, are they being fake, or are they just using these traits like confidence or calmness as tools to do what they need to do?
Yeah. And you know what? The sources suggest we might be asking the wrong questions.
Instead of, am I being authentic, what should we be asking?
Well, they offer up some alternatives, and I think they're really helpful.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, what story are you choosing to live by? Like, what narrative are you building for yourself, and why that one?
I like that. It shifts the focus.
Right. And then, what impact are you trying to have with that persona? What are you hoping to achieve?
That's good. So it's not just about how you appear, but about what you do.
Exactly. And the big one. Are you ready to stand by your narrative when things get tough, when people question you?
Ooh, that's the real test, isn't it? When it's not so easy to maintain the performance.
It really is. And that leads us to another key point from the sources. Maybe authenticity isn't some hidden thing we have to discover.
So it's not buried deep inside us.
Maybe it's more like a choice, an active commitment we make, like consciously making sure that our words and our actions are lining up.
So it's an ongoing process.
It is. It's about constantly creating that consistency between who we say we are and what we actually do.
Right.
And you know what? I think this shift in thinking can be really freeing.
Freeing how?
Well, the sources suggest that it takes off some of the pressure. We don't have to worry so much about performing this true self.
Because maybe there isn't a single true self to begin with.
Right. Instead, we can focus on the things we can actually control, like being consistent, acting with integrity, and making the impact we want to make.
That's a really good point. I'm starting to see how this could be a more useful way to think about authenticity.
I think so too. And that brings us to a final question, something for everyone listening to ponder. If we accept that authenticity can be a performance, a strategic choice we make, could that actually lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves?
Whoa. Okay, so by choosing a story and really living it, we might actually discover who we are.
Exactly. Even if it starts as a performance, maybe that act of consistently living that story, it shapes us. It becomes part of who we are.
Wow. That's definitely something to think about. It kind of flips the whole script on authenticity, doesn't it?
It really does.
Huh. So much to consider.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a fascinating conversation.
My pleasure. I always enjoy our chats.
And for everyone listening, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep striving to live a story that truly reflects who you want to be.
Well said. Until next time.